Monster, Monsterland. In your mind, under your bed. Monster, Monsterland.
Welcome to Monster.
Ah!
I thought you were gonna puke on me.
I was choking on a peanut before we started. He came up again. Argus interruptus. Premature arcing. There's the peanut.
You're a mess. He's gone now. Well,
I stepped in the beer on the floor. This episode is done. Good night, everybody.
All right, well, welcome to Monster Man. This is Hunter Shea.
Hey, how are
He's
you?
a mess. I'm Jack.
Vinegar.
All right, I got a good topic for us today.
This is the greatest topic I think you've ever come up with. I love this idea.
It's pretty good. I don't know how it's going to live up to once we actually talk about it.
I can get it out without choking.
I was wondering, I hear this a lot in like baseball, sports radio talk.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, who's the Mount Rushmore of the Yankees?
The
or
Mount
the Red
Rushmore.
Sox, or-
Who was a call for?
Call for.
Like
I-
That's got
It's like, so I wondered, like, the Mount Rushmore is the like 4 great presidents.
right.
So I was like, who is the Mount Rushmore of horror? And then I thought to myself, maybe that is a 2-part conversation because there's characters and there's actors. And part of this is Christopher Lee died. And there's a kind of famous picture of Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, and Peter Cushing. And I was like, wow, those guys are practically the Mount Rushmore of horror.
Right.
And I was like, maybe you throw Boris Karloff in there. And then suddenly...
Or Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, like then all of a sudden, like, you know what? I'm going to shelve this until I get with you.
Right.
And let's talk about who... Because the other thing is, if you made Mount Rushmore now, would you have the same presidents on it?
No. And it also depend on your age.
Well, that's it. So...
I'd have Ronald Reagan, Taft, Harding,
I'd have...
and Grover Cleveland.
the president from 24, the president from Independence Day.
The president from Veep.
No, that show's awesome.
So yeah, everyone. That's the beauty. Everyone's Mount Rushmore is different. It depends on your age and your influences and what you dig. So let's just dive. We'll do our.
Let's
Mount
dive in.
Rushmore.
So let's go with characters first.
Okay.
Because to me, I feel like there's 3 basics that you can't argue. Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman.
I could argue the Wolfman. I could argue that.
Who would you put up there?
You know who I'm going to put up there? Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Over the Wolfman.
Over the Wolfman. Look, the Wolfman. All right, you're right.
Because the Wolfman...
No, you're right though, because
The Wolfman represents werewolves.
Right, and there's a whole genre of werewolf stuff, whereas there are 3. People don't even know there were 3 Creature from the Black Lagoon movies.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll go with that.
However, it's an iconic... All right, here's what I'd say. I gave you the 3.
No, but see,
The 4th slot, if you went with Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman,
I could give the
4th
Mummy.
slot, is it the Mummy or is it the Creature from the Black Lagoon or is it the Phantom of the Opera?
No, I give it. If you're gonna go for that era, because we're talking 30s, 40s, because Creature didn't come out to the 50s. 30s, 40s, I would put the Mummy in there, because the Mummy spawned a bunch of other movies.
I think the Mummy in popular culture is bigger than Creature from the Black Lagoon anyway.
But because of that Mummy movie.
Yeah,
with
but
Brendan
also I
Fraser.
think like more people like would dress up as a mummy for Halloween or would draw a mummy.
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to dress up like the Creature of the Black Lagoon.
But I think you could put iconic imagery. I think you could put Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, and the Phantom of the Opera as contenders for that 4th spot.
See, I wouldn't do Phantom of the Opera. Only because he's a one and done.
He is a one and done. It's an iconic. You know what it is? And
Lon Chaney Sr.
it's Lon Chaney. So when we get to the actors,
Right.
okay. So Phantom of the Opera does not make it.
No, but see, here's the thing. Now you got to go eras. So early era of horror, I would put Frankenstein, Dracula, the Werewolf, the Mummy. That's your Mount Rushmore. Let's go to the 80s. That's a whole different Mount Rushmore.
Okay, you do an 80s one. We'll do an 80s one. But then if you went all time,
Oh my god.
you could actually mix. Okay, give me an 80s.
Like 80s.
Because I think I have the bobbleheads of the 80s.
Jason, Michael, Freddy. I don't know. Who would I put fourth? Shocker? Shocker.
You
No.
could put a zombie.
I could put a zombie. Like the Mount Rushmore now in 2015 is 4 zombies. Just 4 random zombies.
And the Saw guy.
I freaking hated Saw movies. No, I liked the first Saw movie and I hated all the rest. Torture porn.
Think. Okay, so you're talking about different eras. If you went Dracula, Frankenstein, Freddy, Jason, would that be a Mount Rushmore? A fair character? Because I think Freddy and Jason are the iconic figures like Dracula and Frankenstein.
Now, unfortunately, Freddy is one of them. I think Michael Myers should be above Freddy, but I understand in just culture, pop culture, Freddy is more popular, even though I thought after the first movie he was kind of like a freaking,
Well, if you look at the quality of any of those three characters, there's only a couple of really good movies.
Yeah,
there's
but
a lot of crap with Jason.
Freddy
But
became a Catskills act.
But
He
it's-
was like Shecky Moisenschwanz doing comedy through these things. I don't know. But Jason eventually went to space and he went to Manhattan like the
And
Muppets.
Jason and Michael Myers are basically the same thing with different masks.
I will give Michael Myers credit. That never went goofy.
It never went goofy, but it also kind of just what the hell.
It went sideways.
There's only
but it
really
didn't go
two
goofy.
good Halloween movies, in my opinion. Halloween 1 and 2 are the only ones worth watching.
I watched 2 last year, right the day before Halloween, and I fell asleep. And I hadn't been drinking. I was sober, and I fell right asleep. It was boring. I
It's
think
been so long that
4 or 5 is better than 2.
they're all a blur.
I know.
There's one where they bust him out of jail.
Where's which one is the one with Coolio? Is that H2O?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So I wouldn't.
I'd put Jason
Iconically-
definitely in there. I'd put Dracula, Frankenstein, Jason, and I look. I could argue Freddy, but I can understand why Freddy would be on there. And
If you ask a person on the street to name horror characters, Freddy's gonna come up, probably before Michael Myers.
although I don't know, young kids, Freddy hasn't had a decent movie
That's true.
in 20 years.
That's true.
So it's
The imagery, though, lives beyond the character. If you look at like a horror con, there's always somebody with the sweater and the claws and the.
Although what we've noticed, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the last horror con we went to, was everywhere.
Merchandise-wise.
Holy moly! And
Yeah.
now they're going to remake it with Scarlett Johansson in Julie Adams' role.
Sign me up.
Scarlett has that classic, Hollywood
Yeah.
heartthrob look. So, although women heartthrobs, are they cheesecake? There's cheesecake and beefcake. They're cheesecake.
Cheesecake, I guess.
Julie Adams, I still contend is the best looking woman ever in film. And when I met her, unfortunately she was 80. But I have her autograph and I was very happy.
I'll go Dawn Wells.
Dawn Wells! Alright, so I will go with Frankenstein, Dracula, Freddy, Jason. Because then you're covering also different... you made a good point. Mike Myers and Jason are kind of similar.
Yeah, I definitely put Jason and Freddy ahead of Michael Myers. I think the hockey mask is the symbol for slasher movies.
Right.
When you watch a commercial, they'll have a guy with a chainsaw. Leatherface would even mention.
Mm-hmm.
like the chainsaw is the icon of the
The iconic weapon.
The iconic weapon. the Freddy's got the hat and the claws, and I
Right.
think that's what makes him.
Michael's got a big ass knife and Captain Kirk mask.
And so the machete and the hockey mask, Jason. So I think you can make. Really, I mean, I guess you're right though. You got to kind of go by eras.
Right.
And you say Dracula,
It's tough.
Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the Mummy would be the.
That's your classic.
your
That's your
classic.
base. Your foundation.
Then I think you fast forward and you go, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, and Leatherface would be like.
yeah, Leatherface.
Would be
That's a
like
good one.
the modern icons. Like they say like.
Yeah.
If they're gonna, they keep remaking movies of, Dracula keeps getting remade by new actors, and the character like James Bond lives on, right?
Right.
The same thing with Frankenstein. Now they're starting to do that with those characters. They're the ones that are starting to go beyond the original versions of them to live on and to mixed reviews. But I think like
any
once
horror movie.
like the Saw guy, they're desperately trying to make that face or the ghost face from Scream. They're trying to make those the next Freddy
Don't
or
get me
Jason.
on Scream. My kids were just watching Scream with my niece who's 9. If a 9-year-old can watch Scream and not be scared, that means it's junk. Hate those movies.
So I think that's it. I think modern era, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface covers the. Because if you put a zombie up there, nobody's gonna know like that's Bub.
Say hello, I'm Alicia.
There's not a iconic enough zombie.
No, but I think nowadays the Mount Rushmore would be 4 stupid zombies. Just 4 random rotting heads.
I mean, which zombie? What's more iconic, the zombie Bub or the that one from Return of the Living Dead, the brains?
I think now it's it's whatever's on The Walking Dead. Unfortunately, look, I like The Walking Dead, but I don't think it's the freaking greatest show ever on television.
No, it's
carried
good.
away.
It's no Game of Thrones.
No. Which Game of Thrones is no Game of Thrones until the last 3 episodes of season 5, which was just phenomenal.
So let's circle back then to actors, because this is where it gets way tough. So
Boris Karloff, 1.
So all right, Christopher Lee recently passed away. There's Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, and Peter Cushing. There's like a famous picture of the 3 of them.
Right.
It always gets posted. And I'm looking and going, wow, that's like the Mount Rushmore of horror. And then I go, who would be 4th? I'm like, yeah, probably Boris Karloff. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about Lon Chaney?
Well,
What
Lon
about
Chaney
Bela
Sr.
Lugosi?
died early. Lon Chaney Jr. did the Wolfman,
Walking with the Queen.
Spider Baby, but was never. It
But
never.
Lon
seemed
Chaney
comfortable
is the
doing
guy
it.
who did all the makeup stuff.
Yeah.
In any horror book you read, Lon Chaney, London
But
After
he's
Midnight.
also doing this stuff in the silent era.
But that's for Mount Rushmore though. That vampire, London After Midnight, Phantom of the Opera. He's like the trailblazer. He's like the Ty Cobb or the Cy Young of horror. Like he's an era way beyond ours. But
I think he missed the cut. I think he died too soon. I think if he lived long enough and got into talking films and stuff, I think he could be the icon. But I just think other people just took that. I would think, to me, it would be Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. Oh God, who would the 4th be? It could be Bela Lugosi.
would you throw Vincent Price in there?
You know what? I'll put Vincent Price in there over Bela Lugosi.
He was in the Brady
Because
Bunch.
Vincent Price...
Oh, Oliver.
Vincent Price did so much stuff. It's just like his range was out of control. All right, I'll put Vincent Price in there because here's the thing: once you get to the 70s and 80s, these are faceless people, so they can't be on there. How many people played Jason? How many people played?
Right, Kane Hodder.
That's the
only
name
guy
he was used, but he wasn't
He was
Jason
only
all the time.
Robert Englund is the closest you get to an iconic actor.
Right, and he was.
He's great as Freddy, but
He was such a ham. You should serve him up for Christmas.
he's perfect for that role. But is he? You know, you got to give him credit though, like because when you saw Jackie Earl Haley do Freddy, you're like, that's not Freddy.
Which
Like
I
whereas when you
refuse
saw
to
Bela
watch.
Lugosi do Dracula and you saw Christopher Lee do Dracula, although we have hindsight, like all that was presented to us at once. It wasn't like Bela Lugosi was our Dracula.
Right.
We just got like, oh, there's 6 different guys who play Dracula.
Yeah, at least.
So maybe that's kids now are just like, oh, like maybe one guy isn't the monster anymore. Like it is to us because that's what we grew up with.
It's a different world. But all right, so our Mount Rushmore. Are we in agreement?
I don't know because I hate to say this. I don't know if Peter Cushing makes that list.
Oh my God, he's done more than almost anybody on the list.
But is he more of an icon than Bela Lugosi?
Here's the deal. Peter Cushing was often not the monster.
Right.
All right. So if you're going to take him off the list because he wasn't the monster,
It's
but as an
debatable.
icon in horror movies, holy Christ.
But like to most people, you got Karloff and Lugosi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is Lugosi on or not?
No, I'm taking him off because he didn't do enough outside of it. Outside of
So you got
Dracula. I mean, I
Karloff.
know he played, evil guys. and
Does
stuff
Karloff
like that.
belong there?
Yes, absolutely.
They got Karloff, Lee.
You know that they used to bill him just as Karloff? In the
I have seen
Frankenstein,
that.
it was just Karloff. It wasn't Boris Karloff. It was just Karloff. And
His
for a dude with
voice
a
is
list
so
that
iconic.
bad
Yeah.
to get that kind of cred, more
I
props.
think Lon Chaney.
Dude, you can put Lon Chaney in there. I wouldn't, him or his son, I wouldn't put them on there.
I wouldn't put his son on there, but I think Lon Chaney's got to be on there. I think, again, you could also do this. It's easier to do actors if you go to like classic versus modern.
So would you take Cushing off and put Chaney in there?
That's hard. I would love
Grand
Peter
Moff
Cushing.
Tarkin? You're going to take him off the
Listen,
list?
Peter Cushing is Van Helsing to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is Van Helsing, but like you said, he wasn't the monster.
No, he was the monster killer. In most cases.
Or he was Dr. Frankenstein.
Or the mad scientist.
Yeah, so that's where I'm
Science gone wrong, hashtag.
Whereas Christopher Lee played Frankenstein as well as Dracula.
Right. Vincent Price played everything, including the best
And he
version.
did all the Edgar Allan Poe.
All the Edgar Allan Poe, I Am Legend. He did the best version of I Am Legend,
Yep.
which was,
He's got a voiceover in Thriller.
and he was in Beetlejuice
Yeah.
as the mad scientist.
Yeah, I think Vincent Price has to be on there.
Yeah, I mean, The Fly. It's just
So,
insane if you try to name.
I think
all those.
Christopher Lee has to be on there.
Yep.
I got no problem with Boris Karloff being on there. I think
You're
Lon
stuck in
Chaney's-
that Lon Chaney.
in the history of horror, Lon Chaney is crucial to the whole story, even though he's way before our time.
No, but he was an OG.
He was a
OG.
trailblazer.
He was an OG with the makeup and stuff he would do with just his face, not even necessarily
Yeah,
makeup,
he
just the way he contoured
wires
his face.
pulling his face.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That I'm like, how do you not put him on there? Whereas, Robert Englund was Freddy, so I got no problem not putting him on there because all he was. I'd rather have Freddy on the character list because for that.
Well, you don't want to bring in his
the
all the
Mangler,
other movies that he did.
the Mangler.
Jesus,
Lugosi's hard to leave off because he's so iconic, but
I guarantee you, if you ask people who not Lugosi, but if you ask people who Chaney is,
they won't know.
nobody will know now. 90% won't know. I just brought up Nosferatu at my office, and they thought I was out of my mind. Nobody had ever heard of it. How is it possible?
What's wrong with people?
I don't know. I don't get it. Education in this country is just down the tubes.
I mean, for me personally, Peter Cushing is on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'd
hard not
have
to put him
Christopher
on there.
Lee, Peter Cushing, like Robert Englund and frickin' David Naughton.
David Naughton!
He's-
Naughton!
Miracle World in London.
Oh.
He wouldn't be on there. But you know what I mean? Like it would be,
I mean to call you Meatloaf.
or Meatloaf might be on there.
Meatloaf, yeah. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'd do anything for love.
I won't do that. Oh my God, how hot was that girl in the video? Who wasn't the singer, but lip sang the whole thing.
Yes. That's tough. So I guess
This is a good one. We're stuck. We're in a pickle.
it's hard. I mean, I love Peter Cushing, but it's all about if you're going just horror actors, he's on there. If we're gonna eliminate him, it's because he wasn't a monster.
Right. See, now, what's yours?
That's it.
Another hashtag. Horror Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore Horror.
Whatever.
MT.
It's always got to be right.
Rushmore Horror.
But name your 4. Trying to encompass 100 years of horror movies.
Yeah.
What's your 4? It's so
Actors and characters.
I am for characters. I am going. No, wait. For actors, I'm going to go Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price. Oh, God, this is so hard.
It's killing me.
Vincent Price and Jeremy Piven.
Hug it out, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. That 4th slot is tough.
There's so many. If you put Bela Lugosi over Peter Cushing, you can't argue with either one of those.
No,
They're
it's
both
hard.
iconic. You can't. You could take Boris Karloff out there and put one of those guys in.
Going back to Mike Francesca, Cushing was a compiler.
Yeah.
He was a compiler. He compiled stats. Whereas Chaney died young, so he didn't get a chance to do it. But I mean, he did. He did set the standard.
But if you're the guy who broke the sound barrier, you know what I mean? Like, you're the first guy who does it. You're Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson's number is retired everywhere because he was an iconic figure who had a big impact on his industry.
Well,
that's Lon
if
Chaney.
you're going to go by that, then you're going to put Lon Chaney has to be on there.
Lon Chaney's name is mentioned in Werewolves of London, but so is Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah.
I would only go with Lon Chaney, though. Although Lon Chaney Jr. is in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
True.
Bonus points.
But Lon Chaney Sr. seemed to revel in it, whereas Lon Chaney Jr. just seemed to be like, oh, crap.
Part of the reason I give
gotta do
Karloff
this.
credit, though, is because he was so iconic that, like, the Monster Mash uses his voice. Mad Monster Party. He's the
Grinch.
He's the Grinch. You know what I mean? Like,
he was doing the American International pictures. He was doing the Poe pictures and stuff.
Yeah, the Poe
Along
stuff.
with
all
Vincent
that
Price and Jack
So
Nicholson.
he was just an iconic. He's so freaking iconic
Yeah.
that you can't not put him on there. Like,
No.
And that's the struggle. It's like Bela Lugosi.
Nobody gives 2 fucks
And
for
he's in a
Bela.
White Zombie and all that, but you know, I think
He wasn't as versatile as Karloff was.
no. So I mean, almost if you're gonna go eras, that's where you go. Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, and maybe one other person, and Roddy McDowell or somebody like that.
Roddy McDowell.
You know, like that. And, but
That's
and
my
then,
ape
And then you
Mount
go the
Rushmore.
classic. You'd go Lon Chaney, Karloff, Lugosi, and Claude Rains or something like that.
Claude Rains. That's a nice one. You're like, Claude Rains. Does anyone need Claude? Hey, I will say this. Think about this. And then when you want to cleanse your palate, tune into the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, and he does an impression of Paul Williams having sex with Shirley Temple. You're going to pull out Claude Rains. I'm going to think Paul Williams.
And then also,
I want to
contemplate
have sex
this.
with you.
Does Chucky make the list?
No, Chucky does not make the list. Although the reimagined Chucky was actually not as bad as I thought it would be. And the reimagined Leprechaun I just saw recently, which has none of the humor.
Chucky and
But-
Leprechaun could be in like pint-sized horror Mount Rushmore.
Both played by Hornswoggle from the WWE.
And Tweaky from Buck
Tweak.
Rogers.
Mini, 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 mini.
And
Can Connie Selleck be the last
Boxy,
girl?
Boxy from the original Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my god.
Galaxica.
Nice.
Galaxina.
Galaxina, remember that? Or play Galaga when you have free time. Alright, that's our Mount Rushmore.
Send us yours. Put it on our Facebook page or tweet us.
What's the hashtag?
I'm going to put up here. Mount Rushmore Horror.
Alright, there we go. Alright, so
All right. With that, let us know, and we'll see you next time.
I'm Monster Man.
Grr, arg.